I'm trying to stream again. Third time. According to OBS, we're streaming. I'm not gonna try and do anything else. Look at that. We got some dropped frames, 34%. All right, so I guess we're live again for the 50th time. Okay, so welcome to our blue screen podcast where we continuously blue screen and keep going live.
No, so far the trigger for it, the only thing I can think of, if I was superstitious, was I try and introduce the podcast. So should I just skip introducing the podcast for superstitious reasons, or should I just say fuck it and be a skeptic and
introduce the podcast?
Welcome to Sectional Intercourse, the podcast where we effectively simulate sitting on a couch with two douchebags. So far every week, I feel like we've actually, I think, done a good job of simulating that experience.
Yeah,
week over week.
Yeah.
This week, it's crappy outside. I barely made it back to town, but we are here.
Yeah, I got here to help Tom set up for the Battle of the Bands at the Queens tonight. Hopefully we can still make it down the highway there. And then I really I don't want to leave, but I'm going to have to at some point.
Yeah, I don't even want to go outside. I wanted to go home and get changed and then come back and meet you here for 3. And I just said, fuck it. I was just tired of being on the road. I was on the road for 3 hours and this shit. I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're just we need to get the game in place for this Sunday's show. So let's just lead off with that because I'm dying to pitch you this idea because I've been thinking about it all day today.
Sweet.
But the idea is that I don't know what we name it, but right now tentatively called App or Crap. And
I like it.
The idea
I like the idea
is
already. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
I'm gonna write some fake app, make up some fake apps, and then pick out bizarre apps from the App Store. And our guest, John, has to guess whether it's a fake app that I made up, the name and the description excerpt, or something we actually found in the App Store.
Yeah.
So far, I've already found 4 that would easily, so far the ones I found, if John sees that, I guess it doesn't matter. John's not going to see this. John, if you're watching now, for the sake of
Turn it off.
But so far I found on the App Store Bottle Flip 2K16, a game that's
an actual game.
It's an actual bottle flipping game. There's one called Money Grabber, and the description is exactly what you expect. It says, "Earn money and spend it on us," basically.
Yeah. And
then one of them's Ice Cream Flap. And it's just Flappy Bird, but instead of a bird, it's a scoop of ice cream.
Ooh.
Emoji IO Snither Escape.
These are all real?
These are all real ones.
Wow.
Yeah, and none of them make sense. I don't know how I found all those? I just typed Flappy in on the App Store and hit search. I'm like, that'll definitely bring up some garbage that people, because everyone who wants to get their thing to sell puts Flappy Bird in the description, whatever tags there are for search.
Yeah.
So I'm like, guaranteed I'll find some horrible games in here. Tank.low Deep War Tanks Battle Avoid. ... There's an ellipsis at the end of it too.
I think we should make the names so that they're not like those stupid title one. You know what I mean? Like the ones that are just like a bunch of mismatched words. We should try and make them so that they're like names that people have tried to be clever with, kind of thing.
That's the thing. I think if we have a couple, we gotta
is there anything called Pooply?
Oh, almost certainly.
That's what I mean. You know what I mean though? Name wise, that's what I mean.
We gotta find some that are straight up attempts at being. Let's just look dating. I'll just search dating and see what comes up. So Mint, local dating app. Bumble, meet new people. Pure, the hookup app.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That's a good one.
Pure, the hookup app.
Yeah, Pure, the hookup app. That's a good one.
Yeah. Now, John may have actually heard of some of these, if he's in that community of app development.
Yeah,
I don't know for sure, but
there's a lot of apps out there. I feel like
you'd be hard pressed to know. But some of these might be more popular than I'm giving them credit for.
Here's one called Egg Inc.
Egg Inc?
Yeah.
Nice.
It looks like you build an enormous egg farm.
High School Story, The Game by Hot or Not.
Okay.
Remember when Hot or Not was a thing?
Yeah. I remember when I first got my first LCD TV, I had a laptop that had a VGA output. And when I got my TV, I realized on the back there was a VGA input. And I went, oh my God, can I actually use this TV as a computer monitor? To which I discovered yes. So I went out and bought a super long VGA cord so that when my buddies would come over, we could put my laptop up on the TV so we could all play Hot or Not together.
That's hilarious. Chat with strangers, anti-chat. That's just weird.
That is weird.
Coffee meets bagel. I've heard of that one, so I think he probably has heard of that one.
That all the more reason to do it, I think. I think we want ridiculous names that it's possible that he's heard of because we want ours to sound semi-legitimate.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good point. Coffee meets bagel, and then this can be my my fun thing I can work on in my downtime over the next day and a half.
Yeah, like fake app names,
dating app, and like excerpts from the description.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll just do one sentence excerpts from the description so that it like some of them will be like I'm sure they'll have an elevator pitch type of mystic messenger. See, this would be great in advance if we could go in and like make our own app thing so we could put the app symbol up on the TV too.
Once we get a monitor for the show that we can put below the camera, we'll be laughing.
Yeah, exactly. Because then this will be fun to do. Just spend a day like this. We can do the graphic design and everything for all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Scruff. I mean, it doesn't have a direct name, but that's the pictures that go with it. I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to see that.
Is it like Grindr?
I think it's like Grindr. Yeah, it's just a buff dude with suspenders on and a baseball cap.
How does it compare to Grindr? I want to know now.
It looks like it's got 5 stars.
It looks like it's for maybe it's for guys that want to fight.
Oh, paywall expanding. Someone said.
Is it like a trading card game? Maybe.
Maybe. Wild date hookup app. Okay, dating. We've got a couple of those.
Yeah.
What are other common networking? I'll type in networking.
What about
because that's like what every app developer wants to have break out is their awesome networking app.
Yeah.
Shaper, meaningful networking. Shaper spelled SHAPR.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna put that in here too because Shaper, meaningful networking. I'll just put Shaper.
What about something along the lines of
BuzzMe?
BuzzMe. That's an interesting one. And games are not going to work. We need apps.
Yeah. Well, I think a couple of games just to do the gamut of weird stuff you find.
Yeah.
So we got the weird app, the game app, and the dating app.
There's one here called Fame Monkey.
Fame Monkey?
Yeah. The un-PC social media.
Okay, let's put
Fame Monkey is the un-PC social media that gives users the freedom to express themselves while respecting their privacy.
There's the elevator pitch for that one too.
Deletable direct messaging, top 4 friends section on your profile. Dang, son.
Sweet. Okay.
It's got some high ratings. There's also Rabbit, which I know we've talked about before because that's one I've used.
Polyvore, fashion and style. It sounds like polygamous vor fetishist.
What if we find a bunch of apps that are named after animals and we just list a bunch of animals and say which of these animals have apps named after them?
Beaver.
Because there's Rabbit, which is one. There's Hootsuite, which I guess isn't really
Rabbit. There's got to be an.
Oh, I also have news. Apparently, we are adopting a kitty.
Oh yeah,
or not a kitty, but like a full-grown old cat.
a kitty. Well, not a kitty.
Well, I don't know, like
cantankerous old.
Yes. Well, I guess
nothing wrong with that.
I guess my mom answered an ad. Someone had passed away, and she left money for her cat to be taken care of. So they like posted an ad, and it's an older cat. So
that's good, man. Like
yeah.
I know someone who took in an older dog, and like I think it is like. I mean, it sucks knowing that like you're not gonna have the animal for the next 10 years.
That's probably, that's also a positive, isn't it?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Well, you're giving something a home that like is gonna be miserable otherwise. So I think it's a net positive.
Yeah,
I know I would be bummed out if I found out like if something happened to my mom and then the dogs had to go like be like living in a pound until she died. I'd be fucking heartbroken.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think.
Agreed.
Okay.
I want to have a kitty around. I'm excited.
Man, cats are like I gotta be honest. I don't like cats, but they're nice to have around when you're like just sitting around doing nothing because they don't tend to bug you unless they're that. Especially older cats, they kind of do their own thing. Exactly. They might want a little bit of attention, but they don't.
That's exactly why I'm not a dog person, because it's like I don't want to like have to do a lot. It's just like as long as
that's why you should get an old dog, because they just don't want you anywhere near them.
Yeah, that's
until they do, and then they come over and say hi.
Yeah,
and they just sit near your feet. Oh, okay. Fake apps. Let's come up with some fake
apps.
So what's a name for a dating app?
Dating app. Come on.
Mix app.
Yeah, that's not bad. What about
mishap?
DT app.
DT. Down to app. Down to appetizers.
We also will probably have to make sure that these aren't real.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're gonna a lot of these might already be apps in the app store.
Poke.me.
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 Without an E though. POK.me.
Pock me?
Pock me? Pocky me.
Poke me. No, I guess, yeah. Make it like yoke, like POLK.
Yeah, poke.
We could say that it's for musicians.
No.
For polka musicians.
Polka me is hilarious. A dating app for polka enthusiasts.
The bandit shouldn't be for polka musicians. It should be people with bad Italian accents.
Beef stew. I don't know what that would be that for, but just calling that beef stew.
Yeah, this is so good.
Cold with a K.
Cold. Just cold. All right. I think is that just for dating apps, or
that's just dating apps.
Okay,
so
I don't know. Like everything that I'm thinking of is just like really bad penis jokes.
Yeah. What about like games and stuff like? Remember when everyone got their phones and everyone had an app that would be like gun sounds because they were still like amazed that you could go like this and it would make a gun sound.
Yeah. What
would be a name for something like or maybe like a soundboard or fart sound?
That's definitely gonna be one. I bet you there's like every type of fart soundboard there is.
Yeah. Fart monster.
Wait, okay, read some of the ones that are real.
So there's Fame Monkey, which is a social media.
Oh yeah, let's try and come up with our own social media platforms. That's good. That'll be the one. Something like
what about Get Together? And it's a guitar I
was gonna say it'd be for programmers.
Oh yeah, that's actually funny. Yeah, okay, Get Together.
Collaborative coding.
Yeah, I like collaborative
coding. Social media. What would you call? Okay, let's come up with the scenario for this social media first. What would be a ridiculous like thing to base a social media around?
You have to have a certain IQ to get in.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What about like Smartster or like
Brainbook.
actually IQster?
Headbook.
Headbook. that could be another way to play that game. Is we actually do all real apps and we just say the name and you have to try and guess what the app does. Yeah.
That's actually really funny. Like have a board. I think we could do another app.
Yeah.
We could do another app one.
Well, because like Fame Monkey, you could be like, is this a social media platform? Is it?
Yeah.
What does this app do? Yeah.
Like Instagram for celebrities.
Yeah. Well, apparently
they're
coming out
app for celebrities.
Is there?
Yeah, like a Tinder for celebrities.
Sick.
So you have to like
what's it called?
Apply. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like you have to apply to the people who own the app to like get on. You have to prove that you're famous enough to be on the app.
That's sick. We should try and get on there.
Yeah. Just make up a bunch of fake credits.
Yeah.
Find a guy who looks enough like me. I could just pretend to be.
I was gonna say
we could pretend to be.
I could pretend to be Dallas Green. We'll just have to give me the perfect
You can pretend to be Dallas Green. People always tell me I look like Kurt Russell's kid. He was in the movie the baseball movie that came out last year. I don't think I look like him though, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know who you look like. I'm trying to think of that. Yeah. I don't really.
Oh,
look
do you
like
watch Black
Green.
Mirror?
Yes.
You know the one where he does the VR thing where they put the
chip in
yeah. That guy, everyone, but he's blonde, so it doesn't make much sense. But anyways, we could try and get into celebrity dating app. Get together. What others? So shoes.
I'm trying to think. What about something
shoes?
What about something for like
fanatics?
For like drug addicts to find each other.
Yeah.
Or like sober people to find each other. Just like something ridiculous like that. Be like inject mate or something like that.
Sobriety. There's got to be something. Sobriety. That's so stupid that it works perfectly. Because someone would be like, that makes sense.
Yes. I'm going to look that up. Because that very well could be a thing. No, there's no way that's a thing, but.
Or just Sobria and then Sobria and then like just a big capital T with a hyphen between them.
We have their sober time, sobriety counter, AA 12-step app, sobriety clock, I am sober, motivation for tracking sobriety. Oh, there's a lot of that.
I've got one. A like EH, and it's Canadian like alcoholics get together.
I like coffee and donuts too much.
Yeah.
I don't always clean off the top of my car, and that's really disrespectful to the people that are driving behind me.
That's funny. What about what's another thing that ASMR? There's gotta be some sort of like
Stimmy.
What do they actually do? They have like a name?
No, we gotta call it Stimmy Pro. Yeah, there's nothing called Stimmy. There's Timmy's Super Adventure.
MR.
Yeah, Stimmy SMR.
ASMR video like streaming.
Mono
ASMR streaming app. So I remember what that is.
What else? What kinds of? What about like a pro? I don't know.
What about there's all sorts of bad games made by restaurants to like try and sell. Like, remember Burger King would do Xbox. What about like a Subway?
Subway make your own sandwich
simulator. Like Sandwich Ninja, like Fruit Ninja style, like Subway. So like a Subway or Jared, because that would be Jared's Jared's
van.
Jared's preschool adventure.
Jared and his ice cream or his candy van.
Subway sandwich adventure. No, Subway.
Also, apologies to anyone.
Instead of an endless runner, it's a foot-long runner. You run for exactly 12 inches. Subway endless runner.
What about
I don't know what it would be called, but
an M&M's branded beat making program.
Yeah.
Or like a lyricism,
M&Ms.
like a lyric writing thing. Like the idea being that it's like
crunchy beats.
Yeah. M&M's crunchy beats, and like it's actually sponsored like about the peanut M&M's.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the rapper.
Rotten Tomatoes. I guess they already
ratings.
They have like their one app, but I was gonna say it would be hard for anyone to believe that they have a second app that was some sort of weird. Rotten Tomatoes, like video game reviews.
Well, we'll keep pitching these in Discord.
Yeah,
as we think of them.
I think we've got enough here that I can kind of spend the next day or so getting this in place so that I can have it set up for you guys for Sunday, and then all you have to do is just read them.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
And then you can. I'll make sure they're in your hands ahead of time so you can plug them into the thing when you get in.
Cool.
But cool. Yeah. So you were saying you listened to the new Eminem album. Speaking,
I did.
All the way through, beginning to end.
No pausing, no rewinding, no nothing. I just listened to it from start to finish, no matter what I felt.
And what did you feel?
Okay, so I get it.
This is when I wish we could play it for people.
I really enjoyed.
I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first two tracks. Let's just put it this way: the whole thing lyrically is to be desired.
That's unfortunate.
That's what was really.
That's sort of why I listened to Eminem in the first place.
Exactly. I mean, there was some wordplay. The wordplay was cool. There were a couple songs that you can tell he was trying to just be that old school. I don't care. This is just a bunch of wordplay stuff. I'm cool with that. I just found it like, I know this is, well, partly wishful thinking and partly the way the industry is moving, is that you can tell that there were some songs that he wanted to make and that he was into himself. And then there were a bunch of songs that they paid a lot of people to write and to produce.
Yeah.
And they came out as if there were that many cooks in the kitchen.
Well, that's the thing. Whenever I hear one of his big radio hits, like I'm just so not impressed.
Yeah,
it's like
the one with Beyonce will be pretty good. It's really slow, and it's probably one of the better.
It's got one with Beyonce.
Yeah,
cool.
And then there's one with Alicia Keys that he wastes on it making a Trump diss track.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hard, man.
It is. I mean, like, there were actually some, I'm not going to lie, there were some good lines in it. I just, like, for longevity's sake, it's just like
weird ground to tread right now when everyone's doing it too.
Yeah, and it's like you're paying how much to get Alicia Keys on a track, and you're going to do something that is, like, politically relevant in the moment. You're not going to try and do something with her that's, like he did that Love the Way You Lie with Rihanna. That's not time sensitive. Yeah. Like, that song would be, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of money to spend on a song that has a shelf life.
Yeah. It's bizarre, man. I'm going to have to listen to the album. I don't have a personal opinion on it yet, but
overall, I think it was good. I think it was more of like a collection of singles, because like I brought up the production discography like as I was going through it, and like even after the first song I was like, who produced this? And I went through it and I was like, oh, so I probably am going to really like this one, and this one, but this one with 8 writers on it I'm probably not going to like. Yeah. You know, but like then there's the Ed Sheeran one where it's the credits are literally just Marshall, Ed Sheeran, and the producer, and there's only one production credit, and that's one of my favorite songs on the album. Yeah, it's just like,
well, that's always bound to be the way.
That's
like,
it.
It's and like just to cross over into what I watched last night. I went to see Star Wars advanced screening last night, midnight screening, but they're not really at midnight anymore. So I guess advanced screening is the best way to say it was. I saw it at 7:30 p.m. last night.
Midnight somewhere.
It didn't come out until today. Like they should just. Anyways, off track. But it's the same problem I have with the new Star Wars movie. I'm not gonna no spoilers. It's just it felt like it was made by committee.
Yeah.
It felt like there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. A lot like they couldn't make any big choices because someone in the
room
in the production line went, "Oh, that's a bad choice. Don't do that." So like no one could be a will like. And I thought at the beginning it really felt like they were going to be able to make mistakes and do things wrong, and that would make it a remarkable film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem is the movie's fine. It's good. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. But when I walked out, I wasn't thinking about like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next. And it's like, yeah, it's unremarkable film. Same way I walk out of most Marvel movies now. Just like, well,
that's a big thing.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
While I was in it, and now I'm never going to think about it again because it's just meant to pacify me and get my money. And
I think that's a testament to how we do production these days.
It is. It really is. Like if you look at most things, it's by committee. There's not like, and not that auteur like productions are like a better way to go. It's just that when someone's able to commit to their vision and they work with people who are able to commit to their vision, and like that is always gonna, even no matter how tumultuous that might be, you're gonna end up with something that's at least remarkable,
more unique.
You know, you're gonna be able to go, hey, that was worth discussing. Like I walked out being like, the only thing worth discussing is what they did wrong. The good stuff's not worth discussing because it's like you can see through why they put it there.
Yeah.
And it was a shame. There's some really cool action sequences, some really beautiful imagery. There's like a moment in there that looks like it was peeled out of the pages of like a manga. Like it looked like it was inked by a Japanese manga artist. Like it really did feel like something out of an anime. It was like really visually striking and really cool. But there's so much in between where it's just like, I don't care. And I think like that's sort of just
how I feel about
how art's made
like all movies. Yeah, that's
at least massively consumable art.
No, that's it. And it's because it's nowadays it's not so much about like who can you blow away. It's like who can you not offend.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. They've perfected the system. They know how to get the highest yield, and that's what matters, right? And I don't fault them for that. If that's how they're gonna stay alive. But I mean,
smooth edges aren't exciting,
and that's the thing. I think in the long run, people will start to look for stuff that isn't just another cookie cutter thing.
Yeah,
because
the gloves come off, by the way.
The gloves are coming off, Star Wars. But like, there was the same problem I've had with every other movie lately, and something that I didn't even realize. I was subconsciously aware of it, but someone else brought it to my attention. The fact that in all of these big budget movies now, they always undercut the drama because they're meant to be marketed towards children. So if something bad is happening, a joke's thrown in.
Oh, I see.
Or it's played for humor instead of letting you just feel what's happening in the moment and letting you like be in that moment.
Yeah.
It has to, and they did that a lot in this new Star Wars movie, which I didn't think J.J. Abrams did in the last one. I didn't think it was a perfect film, but I walked out going like, can't wait to see what happens next. This one I was like, don't really care what happens next.
Yeah.
Like unless it's good, I will come back to see it, and that's why what they do works.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, is they made it good enough that I'm not going to not go back. As much as I hate myself for it, but I love Star Wars, and I will always want to watch. They could make
it'll be part of the thing now. Whenever you're watching them, it'll be part of it. You won't shit on it. It's probably not as bad as the '90s ones.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'll walk out, but the thing is, and that's like I love those movies as a kid. And I know people will love the kids who see these will love them too. But like, I love those movies as a kid, and I still love part of them now. And the part that I love is that it was George Lucas. Yeah. There was a vision. This one was so scattered. I was like, I don't even know whose story I'm watching here.
Yeah.
Like, no one could decide. It felt like the casting was done by committee. They're putting in characters to try and be, and I love that they tried to be representative, but they did it in this empty way where they're like, now we have an Asian girl in it.
Dude,
but we're not going to write her. We're not going to write her. We're not going to give you a fulfilling experience following that character. We're putting her in there because we're checking off a box. Yeah. Like I wanted that character. Like the moment we meet her, she's charming. The actress is great. I loved it, and I just never got anything from her that I felt was like a fulfilling like moment in the story. They're just sort of like, yeah, she's here now. She's tagging along for the adventure, and sometimes she says things that are a little bit sassy.
Yeah, that's like, crazy. And we didn't talk about this for continuity, by the way, viewer.
Yeah.
It just so happened that we both watched and or listened to something that was built for the mass market in the last couple of days, and we really did have basically the same opinion.
Well, I think with like
as well executed, but
what's happening right now in media, like it's with like we're kind of entering into this weird like cautionary tale about dystopic like media, where like with the internet and the way that's going with net neutrality in the States, which is horrible. I'm just trying not to think about it because we are where we are, and we're just gonna have to. I'm an American citizen, but I can't do anything about it. I mean, I could.
I'm on the
vote,
to be totally honest. I'm on the fence about that. Like, are you aware of how people have been gaming the system up until?
Oh yes, no, I know, but like, I'm worried about now that it's like now that the legislature's in place that it's gonna be like there's no back and forth. I'm worried that it's going to become like the cable package.
Yeah,
because of the monopoly that's in place. Not because I think it's a bad thing for people to be able to do that. I hear their argument. I just think that because of the monopoly.
I don't think there is a monopoly.
There's places like if you go to where my grandparents live, you have the choice of one internet provider. Mm-hmm. So they can sell you whatever they want. You have no other option. And I know that the argument is
just like our system.
Oh yeah, it's just like it is here. But the problem is right now they can't throttle your Netflix.
Other than the fact that Netflix is allowed to.
Oh yeah,
set up a server. The thing. Okay, so what I would disagree on is that what we used to consider net neutrality is now like it's been ruined already because of the YouTubes and the Netflixes. And all of these other companies.
There's already monopolies in those markets.
What this is doing is it's taking out the monopoly because right now there's something like it's like Netflix takes like 60% of the entire internet's bandwidth, which means anybody else that's trying to host their own videos, this Adpocalypse, all of this stuff, people are saying, well, I can't host the video myself because YouTube is the only place that people go to consume content. Why do people go to YouTube to consume content? Because they have the fastest servers. Why do they have the fastest servers? Because they have billions of dollars to build servers right next to the internet exchange.
Yes. The only problem is this doesn't solve that problem. What's happening? It decentralizes it from them, but it centralizes it somewhere else.
It puts the onus of payment, to me, as long as they put the onus of payment on the people that are trying to broadcast, it will be better. It's not about putting it on the consumer. And I think that's the doom and gloom scenario that everyone is all worried about, is that the consumer is going to pay for it. But to me, it should be the content creators paying for it.
I think, the precedent in the past, though, has been kind of, it's tended, like, at least with cable. And I know it's not a direct allegory, and that's what people keep using, and I'm doing it right now. But the problem is that, like, in the past, the systems that get put in place are that the content creator doesn't pay. You know, they
yeah, and I've always thought that was selfish on the content creator's part. Like, we've had this discussion when the Adpocalypse happened. I was like, well, put it in your own hands, because again, who are you to rely on anyone else for anything?
I think like the problem right now is, like, in a perfect world, that would be the ultimate somehow if socialism worked, we would all be able to just like be on equal footing and be able to do that. But the problem with not having the neutral web, which I
disagree.
We don't have
I don't think neutral. I don't think it's ever been neutral.
Yes, I know we don't have that, but like the problem with it being centralized around the internet provider is that now they get to decide
which to me is better than the almighty dollar of who can be closest to the internet exchange.
Yeah, I mean,
so to me, it would give the average Joe like us a bigger opportunity to get that priority. So as someone who's a publisher of content, I think it's better to have an even playing ground, or else we're all going to get choked out by Netflix. If there's no limit on that bandwidth, we're all going to get choked out by 4K content.
I just don't see it. Like, I don't see it becoming even when it's in. It could. Like, the internet service providers 100% could just be like, and now they're not going to get precedent over this.
Yeah.
Like, they aren't going to be allowed to just do whatever the fuck they want. And we'll throttle them.
But that's the problem, is because of their location and proximity to the internet exchange, the ISP actually has no control over that.
No.
Right.
Well, yeah, they only have a control of how it gets to you as a consumer.
Yeah, but they don't have control over the fact that 80% of what's filling the lines that they're pulling from are filled with Netflix and YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where like, as much as I like to be a contrarian. When I see everyone, specifically the liberal media, when I see them spouting all of this garbage that they are now, and you see Bernie Sanders going, it's the end of the world, I want to go, it's not. And then I read up on it, and you go, okay, well, there's actually a lot of sense behind this, and I'm really interested to see how it works out.
And you know me, I'm very like, I get my hackles up when I see. Like, and it's the internet service providers or the cable companies or like our phone companies here, when I see them saying like, and they haven't done this yet. So it is alarmist. Nothing's happened yet. There's no guarantee that the company's going to do this. But when they start putting all of the onus on especially in the United States, on the consumer, and then providing them like saying like, hey, but we have this option here. Because some of them do have
but I consider that a straw man.
It would be a straw man if they weren't doing it. Like, they do have,
but they're already doing it. Is what
streaming.
I mean. In the neutral internet, they're already doing this. Like, if you can sign up for a Fido phone plan, and streaming Spotify doesn't count against your data plan.
Yeah, the problem is it's deeper entrenching. Is the only problem I see. I mean, beyond what's already happening, they now are just further entrenched to say like, now this service is our pet service because they pay fealty to us. Like, that's the problem I see happening. And it's already happening.
And I was going to say, then that's what I mean is, to me, it already is happening under the guise of being neutral. At least now it's open and it's honest, and the people that want to show up in those spaces know how to get there. Because to me, as someone who's trying to get people in spaces, it's really hard to explain to my client why we can't host their videos on their website and drive traffic to their website.
Yeah.
Like, it's really disheartening. And it's all because YouTube is taking up a considerable amount of bandwidth, which renders all of their competition useless.
Yeah, I just don't see it changing. I mean, and I don't admittedly know any of the law beyond what I've read.
And also, we're Canadians, so none of this applies to us
directly. But with my concern right now is watching, like, now YouTube is going to go, well, we're the ones who have the money to say we'll pay to get the better bandwidth.
Yeah.
That's the concern. Like, not
but they already are.
They already are. I know.
So what's that's where my argument lies.
Well, now it's a money game. Like, when it comes down to, like,
yeah, but at least it's the money for the ISP, not just like a real estate technology cost. YouTube can't just keep buying better technology and drowning everybody else out of the market.
Yeah, and I just don't like. I guess the problem is I don't see it getting better with this situation.
Yeah,
either.
I was gonna say
we're kind of already lost.
Exactly.
Like, I just see it as like this is a
long time ago.
This is like a. Now, if you can make the money to play in the field, now you're fine.
Which, as someone I build websites for people for a living, so to me, if that becomes a thing, that's just another service that I get to charge.
Yeah. Well, that's I mean, that is the reality of it. We're already at a place where people have to.
Not to mention
the money talks, and who knows? People might get to the point where we're already in a dystopian.
It's already pay to play. It's already pay to play. At least now the rules are on the table. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah,
it's like, to me, anybody that considered what we had yesterday to be neutral and what we have today to be not neutral, you need to get your head out of your ass.
Oh yeah, well then anyone who was speaking competently on it beforehand could have said already, like, this was already the case. Like that's
like
the companies were told they couldn't do it, and then we're doing it anyways.
Exactly. This is why
nothing changed.
This is why things like fake news are called, because people are taking this story and now it's all about how the FCC got rid of a neutral internet, but the internet wasn't neutral to begin with.
They got
So
they got
the
rid
way
of
that
the
it's being
words
spun-
in the papers that said they couldn't do what they were already doing.
Exactly.
It's
that's why I'm so like bleh, I don't give a shit, because it literally it's already happened.
I mean,
this happened years ago.
It's unfortunate. I mean, I feel like any chance of it not being.
But see, the beauty of the U.S. is that that's a free market, right? So if an ISP comes out, Elon Musk, he puts out his internet satellites. Elon Musk isn't going to do. He's going to keep it neutral. Like you can't tell me that Elon Musk is going to throttle everyone.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's like right now.
Capitalism leaves that open.
Yeah,
is if you're just right. I don't know. Like I said, I think leaving it up to the ISP leaves room for an ISP to fix the market. Whereas considering everything neutral and only letting those who have enough money to compete behind closed doors, that's a lot less neutral than what they're going to.
Yeah, I'm a pessimist when it comes to any form of government, whether it be or open market, like or socialism. I think all of them are flawed, and we just kind of get stuck with whoever's playing in the game.
But if
decides how it ends up. So like Elon Musk could make a great situation for everyone, or you could have someone who just wants to make. So
if you're not for government oversight, then why do you think it's bad that they're removing rules?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I think I'm not. Well, I'm conflicted on both sides. Like I don't love government oversight because I know how government works, and I don't know how. Sorry, I should say I know how ineffective government can be, and I don't love the idea of no government oversight in a world where people can just do whatever they want. But there's so much gray area there, so I don't know. It literally just the icky feeling of knowing that the people who have a lot of money are the ones who get to decide right now. That's the only thing.
And I was gonna say, and like I said, I agree with you. It's just I think that this is helping that, not hurting it.
I think you could. Like that's the thing. Like you're right. That like
it's the idea of capitalism in a free market, right? Is if this is really a problem, someone with a solution will come out with a business and make $1 billion.
I think the only problem with that I see is that there's the potential that we're giving the consumer more credit than they actually deserve. That they will be sold pretty much anything because not everyone is as informed consumer as we are.
But then that's. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I know. I just it bums me
Everyone's
out.
Stupid.
It bums me out so much. Like it just like, and the thing is, like, I'm an informed consumer when it comes to these things. Like, I'm trying to decentralize as much as possible. I like if there were, I'm gonna try and take my money out of the big banks, but I can't right now because I have none. Yeah. But when I do, I'm gonna try and decentralize as much as possible, so I'm not just giving all my money to the big players. But like that's the most I can do, because really if we want the things that are considered necessary to survive, I have to buy my computer from so and so. I have to buy this from so and so, and they're owned by so and so, and you can't escape it. Yeah. You kind of just have to
just balance it.
Do your best to be an informed consumer. I just don't think that the average person thinks about that at all, and they're just like, I have to pay that much for internet? That sucks.
And that's why again I think that them taking out these rules is good.
I think it is if someone provides a service that has a long-term value to the customers, and I don't think many corporations are trying to build in long-term value for their consumer base.
Yeah, no, agreed. But we can't force people how to run their businesses, right? That's where it becomes like, do you want people to be able to run their own businesses, or do you want to tell everyone how they have to run their businesses? Well, because you can't have either. You can't have somewhere in the middle.
I know, but that's the problem is right now we do have somewhere in the middle where the government is there bought by these corporations, where we're voting for a bunch of people who are just bought by different companies.
Which I would agree with if they were adding to regulation, but they're removing from regulation that's already been bought for. Yeah. Right? So that's where I get on that, is like they're not adding rules, they're taking away rules, and they're calling it more fair or less fair.
Well,
that to me, that's what's confusing, is the way this story is being framed as ending net neutrality.
because the only reason, and I don't think people realize this is why they feel icky about it, but the reason people feel icky is they don't want the regulations to be there, but they don't want the deck to be stacked against them.
Yeah.
I think most people don't realize they're conservative when it comes to government. They realize that they don't want somebody else to have a head start.
Yeah.
They don't realize that. They have that feeling of like, I'm in an unfair race. I started out in an unfair race. And if we lose these regulations, then the government's not helping me. They weren't helping you in the first place. The government's not helping me get my, because it's frustrating. It's frustrating to even think about because
I see why people would see it that way, but it's not that way.
No, but like if you think of it just as someone who's doesn't know anything about net neutrality, doesn't even know as much as we've talked about.
I get that. I get that, and that's what I'm upset about.
Who's
that's
a
why I
bleeding
wanted
heart
to talk
liberal
about
who
this.
does love regulation, who does think the government should have their hand in everything, who thinks that we should be constantly told what to do.
Yeah.
Those people see this as the worst thing that could happen because the rules are being taken away, and the people who weren't following the rules and setting the rules in the first place, they're not thinking about it logically. They're thinking, no, we need rules. We need rules.
But if anything, that's like if that's the way that they're looking at it, they're backwards. Yeah. Like this would be helping the liberals.
Yeah,
to me, this net neutrality thing is,
if they see regulation disappearing, they only see big fat cat conservatives taking advantage of that lack of regulation.
Yeah,
that's all they see.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So that's admittedly what I get my hackles up about too when I see this happening, is because that is what happens. It's just already happening. They're just doing it through government channels. Yeah, they're paying the right people to make sure that they get the right thing done. That's still what happened now. Now they don't have to deal with it anymore because the regulations aren't in place. I mean, and that's what's so frustrating about all of this, is that all of the things that we think our government is doing for us,
they're not.
They're not. Like, these regulations that get put in place are just they're a loophole. There's loopholes for the people who want to get through, the people who have the money to get through.
I'm just going to put it this way. Everyone that's in the States right now that is upset about this whole net neutrality thing, come try and pay for internet in Canada.
Yeah.
Just come over here and see what it's like.
Yeah.
Because this is what a real monopoly looks like. And this is a monopoly that no company is allowed to come in and disrupt.
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah. Especially if you're like, if you look at the American side of things, where there's only a couple companies, but everything is so close together. You could conceivably move one town over to change. You can't move anywhere in Canada to get away from the monopoly.
That's what I mean. It's like, and then it's all we need that regulation. Well, you know what this regulation is leading to? It's leading to your phone bill being 4 to 5 times higher than anywhere else in the developed world.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like,
it just upsets me so much that everyone thinks that we need all of this regulation when all it's doing is it's leading to monopolies.
And like, I think my only exception to that is that I think the monopolies are there one way or the other. The government's allowing them to have those monopolies, as opposed to the government not caring whether the monopoly is there or not.
Whereas my argument would be the opposite again, because I think that the government, like, by taking away the regulation, they are letting the market solve itself.
I just don't think, like, I'm not an optimist when it comes to economy, and in a system where we've already stacked the deck. I don't think getting rid of regulation fixes the problem, unless someone like a visionary comes through and goes, I've got this long-term vision where I see how my company will survive if I actually provide value to my customers. I don't think that's how most large businesses operate.
No, and I agree, but I think that's the whole point. Like, look at Tesla. Tesla wouldn't have been able to survive. Like, we're in a changing of the guard right now. Yeah. And if we want the government to control everything, the market is never going to change itself.
Yeah. That's a bummer, man. Even just talking about this stuff just bums me out. Because, like, I think
I was a liberal until I started listening to Ben Shapiro, and now I just, like, I'm like, all right, well, I have to think of this logically and think of where the money is going.
I don't like to call myself a liberal because I hate the government.
Yeah.
And I think anyone who can honestly, like, and I've heard huge, like, anarcho-liberals, which is a fucking, like, weird peanut of, like, twist in your brain. Just, like, you can call yourself, like, an anything.
And I'm a
with
NoFX fan.
Like you can be like anarchist, but you can't say that doesn't mean that you're not. You are a conservative if you're an anarchist. Yeah. At least a government, like governmentally, you don't. If you want no government, then you
or
are
at the very least libertarian.
You're a libertarian at the very least, yeah. And I think
that's where I lie. Yeah.
I hate when people ask me because I'm like, I'd rather just not tell you how I affiliate, because I don't affiliate. I don't even affiliate with being a libertarian. If you were to ask me what I like, if you gave me here's the boxes you can try and fit yourself into, I'd be like, I probably fit best into this one. But,
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I think it's amazing how many people don't use logic on an issue to issue basis, though.
No. That's the thing. But when you're dealing with such a complex system, I do believe in regulation in certain places. I do believe that there is necessary regulation. Things like don't kill people. I don't think that really, and I don't.
That's obvious, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't think like there's so it's hard to go. When does that regulation stop? Like,
to me, it's when it's with the threat of physical violence, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think like, but if you look at then like, should a company be allowed to own should a company be allowed to have a market monopoly?
Yes.
I just don't think so.
Well, I agree with that. I just mean like if the market is open, then that won't happen, right?
Unless you're already too far gone.
Yeah,
is my only. That's where my.
Yeah, but we live in a place where our government is literally creating and supporting monopolies.
Yeah,
so it's that's why I find it so hard to like. There's a lot, and you're not the only one. Like I talk to a lot of Canadians.
I know, but I know that we're already in this place.
It's just crazy to me that everyone is still so for all of this, like bureaucracy and paperwork. Meanwhile, we've just been getting.
I just know that it's. I'm just imagining it from the perspective of a lobbyist who's out of a job now, by the way. Yeah. So, I mean, there's one shining silver lining to this story is that there's a few less lobbyists in the world. But, imagining...
Oh, I'm sure there were a lot of lobbyists on both sides.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. There's lobbyists on for everything.
There's a reason that YouTube and all of these guys came out for net neutrality.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they came out for net neutrality, but if you read their description, they're still saying like, we think that we want
things to keep going the way they are.
Yeah, things stay the way they are. But it's so funny if you think like the people who are in charge of doing this must have been looking at this and been like, shit, if we win this fight, I'm out of a job. Not out of a job. They'll get another job as a lobbyist for some other thing. But like someone who's like talking to the guy like the FCC and being like, listen.
But isn't that part of being a lobbyist? Like any issue, that's the whole point. Is if you're advocating for policy change,
you want to get it through, of course. Yeah. But like a big one like this, like imagine that there must have been like some deeply entrenched lobby groups for the end of net neutrality. Like that must have been like having a crazy going away party at the end of the week. Yeah. Like this past week. Like, it's just so bizarre to think of how our government works on that level. But anyways, I was gonna say,
our government works a lot worse than theirs on that level.
Oh yeah, much worse. But that's they've got their pros and cons. But theirs is very like the power is very centralized in their government. But like I'm imagining someone who, let's forget the lobbyist, like the CEO of one of these companies who's sitting there going like, well, at least now I don't have to pay all this money to try and get through these regulations. I don't have to worry about appealing to this group or this group. Now we just do it. We put our, and that just, it bums me out because I think they're probably a jerk.
Yeah.
Not because I think they're like never going to be taken down. I see the road as being a little bit longer now, and because we lost some regulation, and I know that's a bummer because regulation generally sucks.
I was gonna say, just wait till Elon Musk launches his ISP, and everyone will just be laughing at how they let the government control them for so long.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. I want to eat food.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a Christmas party to attend.
Christmas party here, and we're going to a Battle of the Bands in at the Queens in Port Elgin.
Yeah. So if you're in Port Elgin and you can get out of your driveway.
That might also be a concern. So also double check on Facebook to ensure that everything is still operational before you leave.
It's still happening.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Thanks.
Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, third try was a charm.
Yeah.